episode 5, the Catflap Chats. Me, Mikey, joined here today with my main man, Thea. Some of you might follow him on Instagram. He's a bit of a mad bloke but I think we get into the skin of him today. We start every episode with beer, so here's mine, but you don't drink, do you?
No.
So say hello, and what have you brought today? What have you got?
Hello guys, I'm Thea Al-Shayei, and I've got my 49p bar cherryade.
You have them all the time, didn't you?
Love them.
Went through a stage where you're actually like addicted to them, like packs of 20. Why them then?
I don't know, since I was young, like, to be honest. I just love them. And then obviously, I think they changed them over the years, because before I think there was like 37 grams of sugar in them, and now they're down to 7.4 grams of sugar.
Health conscious.
So not too bad. Yeah.
Better for you now. How come you don't drink then? Always been like that, or?
No, 8 years, December the 16th. No drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes.
Fair play. What was that? Just a life choice?
Yeah, just, you know what it's like. Well, I'll speak for myself, but if I drunk, it just opened doors to too many sins, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the alcohol, it's like missing for 3 days, and then cigarettes, and then whatever else, and then I just didn't want it to stop, so in the end I was like, you know what, I need to pack this in, and yeah.
Fair play. So, probably doing you a bit of a disjustice here, starting with that. Actor, TV, film, stage, BAFTA winner.
Mm-hmm.
Have I missed anything else there? Hot stepper, boxer, boxing coach.
That's it.
Take us back to the beginning, mate. Where did it all start?
Right, it all started 19 years ago in a Welsh ITV movie in English language called Excuse My Welsh. Ilo Dimwad Mind-Blowing Hedw. Mind-blowing. And it was directed by Russo. It was based on a love story between a couple from North Wales. They break up, she moves down to Cardiff, he stays in Bangor, and then he ends up coming to look for her. And then he's walking around the Cardiff streets and he bumps into me, and I played a character called Jules, who was like a little street thug. And we noticed that he was like looking upset, and we walked over, and I was like, look, I can get you these ecstasy pills. In fact, I know where there's a party tonight, there's a rave, come with me. So we sort of took him into that wing, and me and the other two characters, and it just snowballed from there.
How'd you get into it originally then? It's not something that everyone just gets into.
No, because I think acting, like I say to people, right, Mike, is, do you know as you are as a person? That helps. Like, basically the characters you're going to play, you're going to be able to play different characters going along in your career, but I think, do you know, as a person you are, it all boils down from the person you are, because there's some people out there, like, they say, oh, I can never do that, but I can fight in front of 80,000 people. I can never speak like that, but I can do, you know, it's always like different strokes for different folks. But I think, from young, and then it come along, and then Cyril Payne, who was the youth worker, because I started in a youth club, and he said, look, Chapter Arts are casting for this thing, long story short, blah, 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 go down to Chapter, went down, auditioned, and then from there, I just stuck to it.
Where did you grow up in London?
St. Mellons.
St. Mellons?
Yeah, St. Mellons.
So you were doing that as a kid in St. Mellons as well?
Yeah, of course, like in the youth centre, we was doing like little plays, stand-up stuff, I was doing comedy impersonations of all my friends, and then in the end I was like, you know what, this is I have to pursue this, and I did.
Yeah, and you did it through school and that as well?
Yeah, through school as well, through university. I did a little spell at mechanical engineer when I was working on my apprenticeship, when I was working on the railways. I was still doing it in between. It was always going back to it. And then in 2010, I went to Stella Adler for a year in LA, not just for all the acting stuff, even just in the industry, down to a call sheet, sides, manager, agent, manager, publicist, 2 agents, 2 managers, you know what have you. And then since I come back from 2010, from 2011 it started picking up for me. I went to Iraq, I done Stella, I was on Inside Men, I done little spells in National Theatre Wales 4 times, Sherman Theatre, and then the last 3 years really busy.
So when you were obviously starting out, you didn't have obviously the experience in the industry. How did you get by, you know, finding an agent and all that sort of stuff? Because I can imagine like people who would want to be an actor, kind of, I'd love to be an actor, I'd love to be in films. Where the fuck do I start? Yeah,
exactly. Very good question. And you can imagine, which I'll jump in forward, which I will cover, about the Venice stuff when I go back home. Many people ask me, but I'll get to that now in a minute. But to answer your question, it all started from like extra work. So I do little things. So this is how it worked. It was mad. You'd get like a speaking part, and then all of a sudden then get an extra in the background. Hey mum, did you see me on the telly? I was the waiter.
Was that like TV shows and stuff?
TV, like Stella I do, because it was in Welsh, as long as it didn't conflict with any languages I spoke. I do it, and you just pick it up, and then you meet friends, networking again.
Yeah.
So you do short films with your friends, so you've got a decent show reel. And then you study education, which a lot I say to people, go and study. If you do want to do it properly, go to drama school.
Yeah.
Because when you come out of drama school, you can then, they have agents at the end of the year who come and watch your play which you're in.
And do they do that well here, or is it you've got to go to London? Or?
No, the Royal Welsh College, top three,
top three
in Britain, Royal Welsh.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, class. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, top three Royal Welsh College. There's Peter Aldridge. He's an acting teacher, which I used to go to as well.
Yeah.
I've done a workshop with him. So with me, again, I'll speak for myself. I had a year spell in America, and then when I come back, I learnt the trade on site, if that makes sense.
Yeah, on the job.
I learnt it on the job.
Yeah.
Right, and then doing little short films here and here, and I learned it on the job, and then I built up my CV, I built up my show reel, and then in the end, I managed to get a decent agent and manager in London, and a decent agent and manager in LA.
Did you think when you were like, so again when you started out, even when you got to like Stella, do you think I've made it in now? I've made the big bucks.
Yeah, that's why you think all the time, and it's mate, it's never enough because you think like this, and it's the tastes.
Yeah.
So jumping forward to last year, which I say all the time, I never forget the date. Tuesday, the 21st of February 2018 at 5:20 p.m. when I had the phone call for Mosul.
Yeah.
And for the listeners, Mosul is a feature film based on the Nevaeh SWAT team who liberated ISIS. Liberated Mosul from ISIS. It was based on a true story. It was produced by the Russo brothers, the guys behind the Avengers movie, and it was directed and written by Matthew Michael Carnahan, who done Deepwater Horizon, World War Z, and what's the third one he done? Deepwater Horizon, World War Z, and The Kingdom with Jamie Foxx.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that was massive Hollywood, which we push for. Once you get the taste to answer your question, that's the thing, is like Cinderella, because for 3 months when I was there, I dropped 2 waist sizes, I grew my hair, I grew my beard. You're with the Hollywood people. I'm playing the third lead in a film. It's the first film Hollywood have ever made in just Arabic. Yeah. So it was massive. And then as it's getting towards the end, they come up to you and basically say, right, see that star badge, that movie star, we have that back now. So it's back to reality.
Spit you out again.
Yeah, you're just back to reality. But then I couldn't complain because it was okay, because when I got back, I think 6-7 weeks later then, I auditioned for Baghdad Central, which is a 6-part drama which you'll be able to watch on the last week of January next year.
Class.
On Channel 4, when I play the role of Omar, which is based on a novel by the same name by Elliot Collar. Again, 70% in English and 30% in Arabic. My dialogue will be in Arabic.
So as you were getting these gigs coming up, and obviously as you've got into Hollywood now and you've got Channel 4 stuff, and I know some of the other things that you're potentially going to do in the future, did you find that talking a couple of different languages, obviously Iraqi background and heritage, work in your favour at first, or did it work against you at first, and which way's it gone?
Starting, Mike, very good question. Starting, it works against you because you're going to be typecast.
Yeah. As
simple as that, and I say to people all the time, unless you're a name, you're going to be typecast. Unfortunately, it won't happen all the time. Someone could come lucky and say, well, do you know what? No, you could be the doctor, or you could be the police officer, or whatever role it is, instead of being the villain. Unfortunately for me, no. I was typecast right the way up to my career until last year. And then when I make that transition, it does help. And this is why I say to people, if you can speak another language, or there is another language spoken around you or in your family, learn it, because it helped me. I'm from Iraq, and I didn't notice this until I was in Venice, and the director said to me, ain't it crazy, the 2 biggest roles you've done are about your country and about 2 cities in your country. I said, what do you mean? He said, Mosul and then Baghdad Central. Baghdad Central's a police station. I said, you know, I didn't think of it like that. He said, yeah, there you go. So it shows you the strength. If you do know another language, please use it. And again, you can see yourself, Mike, with all the series they're making these days, Gomorrah, Narcos, all these in Italian, in Spanish, or whatever.
Subtitles and stuff.
Exactly.
Like that. So, did you born there and moved here, or grew up?
Yes, I was born in Basra in 1981, and I moved to Wales in 1983.
Fuck, that's class. Fair play to you.
Been back twice.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been back twice. I went.
You still got family there?
Yeah, of course, still got family. I went back in 2000. 2000 for a month, 2 weeks in Basra and 2 weeks in Baghdad. And then in 2011, I went for 6 weeks, but I was in the northern region in Sulaimania, in Erbil, in Kurdistan, to shoot a film. Since then, obviously, we can't. They did want to actually shoot Mosul there, but the Iraqi authorities put a no chance. They said no chance. It's too dangerous.
A lot of political
unrest. Exactly,
And do you have family that come over here as well?
No, they can't.
Not
Visa issues. No, yeah, same with Mosul.
Yeah.
They wanted to cast all Iraqis, and I even seen the sheet when I got to Morocco in the production office and we had the meeting. 187 boys, 187 actors, males. They auditioned for Mosul, and in the end, out of the 187, the 8 they picked, the only Iraqis was me, Mahayman, and Suhail, and the others were the closest country, which is the Jordanians, to do the accent. The dialect.
Have you had issues going out to these countries with? No one I know, unless they're in the industry, knows what goes on behind the scenes when films are being made, and we'll come into that in a bit. But even just from the off, do they help you with visas and things like that?
Yeah, of course they do. Production, because the first thing they say is, right, you've got they won't even cast, to be honest with you, Mike. Once they see you on the spotlight with your agents and the agents are plugging you, the first thing they're going to ask is passport. This is why when I was in the article in the Western Mail last month, they couldn't believe it when they found an actor, an Iraqi with a UK passport, which they didn't, because they were casting Iraqis. And when Matthew spoke to my agent, they was like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah, he's from Iraq. He was born in Basra. He got a UK passport."
Dual passport.
I did, but obviously my other one obviously has run out now. But and then the production team sort everything out. With America, it's a bit harder. America, unless it's Universal, Paramount, Disney, Warner Brothers, the big boys, then they can get you a work permit to come over. But as soon as your permit's finished, you're on the next plane. You're on the next plane. Unless you got the 0-1 visa. I only got the B1 and B2 because obviously because of Trump come involved, he changed the laws and I had to say yes to certain things. So mine was declined. But anyway, long story short, I went to the embassy, cleared my name, and then I got a 10-year B1, B2, which allows me to go into America and come out. With no hassles and stay there longer. But in having saying that, Interpol were waiting for me in Heathrow when I went last in June, and they were waiting for me in Miami when I got off there, when I got off the plane. But they was fine. I have a file. They just said, "Look, Mr. Al-Shayei, we wish everyone was like you." I just had a file. Yes, everything was matching the dates. How much I had on me, where I've been, why did I go this, where did I go that, the photos, this on my passport, these stamps, because I was back and forth Morocco for 6 months. The stamps and that flags up. But anyway, they was fine. So
what's it like? Then talk me through, and people who might listen to this now, talk us through. Agent gives you a call. There's a film coming up or a TV series coming up, 12-part series, feature-length film. Yeah. How does it work from there to you finishing the film?
Right, this is how it works. So basically, I started off first. Obviously, we know, like with anything, to all the listeners, obviously we all know, guys, is funding. So you get the big boys, right? You get the script writers. You go to the producers or whatever. For example, Mosul, Matthew Carnahan wrote the script. He looked at the script. When he was reading the article in the New York Times, he was picturing the film. So he wrote the script, took the script to the Russos. How are we going to sell the film? Thaya, Mahayman, Ali, Mohammed, never heard of them. I want the film in all Arabic. Chris Hemsworth was playing my role and another ensemble of whoever it was. They said,
"What, originally?"
Yeah, originally, of course, They're all Marvel people, aren't they? So they was like, "No, I want Arabs to play it." He was like, "Well, how are we going to, obviously it needs to be sold as a product." This is why it's not, it's still in the distribution, who's going to buy it at the moment, right? So they was like, "Okay, no problem. Here's how much is it going to cost." They roughly come up, for example, I think when it finished, they come up to 18 or 90 or 20 million, I think, in the end, it cost. For example, they say it's going to cost this much. Right, we got 15 for you. No problem, bam. He gives
Who's got the 15 million?
The Russos, Agbo Production.
Okay.
They got 50, for
their
example,
production company.
Agbo, that's their production, right? So right, they got $15 million now. They've gone, yes, they've green lighted. Now what they do is, they get a team on board, so they get big casting directors, okay? The casting director, I think it was Reg, Prescott and Stewart, I think, casted it. They get a casting director who's really good. This is the script, this is what we're looking for, these are the characters. Casting director's job, if then is to go in the database, find us, ring our agents, then our agents will ring us and say, right, you got an audition for so-and-so, this time, this day.
What's an audition like?
The audition, right, first they'll ask you to either tape, or if it's a big thing, and again, to all the people who want to come into the industry, or anyone who knows this, if you can get in the room, please get in the room. If they ask you to tape, but you can make the audition, go in the room, because it's better for them to see you as who you are, not just as the character who you're auditioning for. Okay? So right, so
have you ever just like stormed an audition just to get in the room?
Of course, I'll tell you some little tricks of the trade now. Right, so basically, You tape, so I taped for Mosul, so exactly the same process what happened with Mosul. I taped up in Bali in my mate's studio. So I'd done the tape, I think the third take I picked. Obviously I was speaking in Arabic, he was doing his lines in English. Brilliant, send it, 2 days later my agent rings me, fine, you got a recall. Then you get recalled. Then I go up to London, that's when you meet the director, the executive producers or whoever's there. Okay, so you go up to London, you have a chat. Best thing is go in there, be yourself. You've got to be yourself. You can't. If Spielberg's in there to the Queen, I'm still there, and I won't be able to change. I can't. I can never ever change who I am. My hands are swinging everywhere. I'm loud. I'm sweating in the room. I'm showing them photos on my phone. They're thinking, who's this crazy? Like, do you get me? This guy's mad. Anyway, so you just have a little chat. They say get up when you're ready. You tape. Do the tape, and they'll say, okay, brilliant. Can you do it like you've just met the sergeant? No problem. Can you do it like you've known him all your life? Can you do it like you're under pressure? Can you do it like you're getting fired at? So there's bombs going off. So imagine you're trying to deliver this thing, but there's bombs going off behind you. Do it like that. Brilliant. Wicked. Sit down. Then you sit down and you have a chat. Some of them go, brilliant, wicked. That was wicked. Definitely get in touch. That was wicked. Have a safe journey home. And whatever, and you don't hear nothing back. But that's the whole process how it works. And then you have a chat and you have a chat. And then with Mosul, this is the experience I had. Matthew, the director, he kept saying, we got 35,000 rounds of ammunition. That's 10%, I got the role. We're going to Morocco. I left the room on 85%. There was 15% left for me to get the job. And then obviously 12 days went past. 12 days. And then in the end, my agent rang me then and she said, look, sit down. This is going to happen. Blah, blah, blah. They're offering you the part. You're going to go away for this. And again, this is the industry. They give me 4 days, I think it was. 4 or 5 days to prepare to go away for 3 months. That's it.
And for people who don't know, you've got a little boy, or probably going to come on to the family a bit, but you've got a little boy who needs looking after.
Yeah, of course, he's got autism.
He needs looking after. You have got a family around, but that's quite tough, isn't it? It's just 4 days later, I'm gone for 3 months.
It is the balance, because obviously as they get older, this was last year, so they're hormones, their routine changes. And obviously he's 11 now, so he's going through puberty and he doesn't know what's happening. So you can imagine, and I've been attached to 3 big productions, Lord of the Rings. If I get that, that's 4 to 6 months guaranteed, could be longer. That was with my contract. It'd be 4 to 6 months in New Zealand, could be longer. 10 episodes start from in February. Another project called The Contractor, which is like Homeland. Again, that's 12 episodes. Definitely 8 to 10, could be more. Again, that'll be for about 6 or 7 months in Morocco. And the third one's is Miracle Workers. That's with Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, and Steve Buscemi season 2. That's if I get picked. I've been attached, so obviously they jingle it all up, and in the end they say, okay, we want to play you for this and we want to play for that. So going back to your question, it's hard, because now for me to have to turn around to his mother and say, oh right, I got the role, I'm going for 6 months, or I'm going for a year or whatever. It's hard. So you do have to find a balance.
Tough, that is.
Very hard. And one, obviously being away from him.
Of course.
And then it's just like, oh, but then this is what I signed up for, and it's all I know. It's my job.
So it's paying the bills.
Exactly.
Puts him through school and stuff. So
100%.
That's a big sacrifice to make. And I suppose again, people don't realise that when they're sat in the cinema watching their films, sat at home watching, Sky Atlantic, whatever it might be.
Oh, of course,
the sacrifice people make.
It is 100%, because it's no opponent. Because obviously I always bring boxing into it, because I'm involved in boxing. There's no opponent. You're not hitting anyone. Your opponent is yourself. In the end, I was coming back from auditions, Mike, and I couldn't even look at my reflection on the train. So when I'm sat on the train, I'm looking through the window. You can see a reflection. I can't even look at myself. I'm thinking, what I'm doing. I've got a son who got a disability. His mother's on my case all the time. What's happening? Just get a normal job. It ain't gonna work. And do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, then overnight, whack, you get this, and going back to what we said earlier about the taste. Do you know, once you taste that life, you cannot quit. Honest to God, mate, I couldn't give up. And I just knew with myself. I thought, you know what? You're only one roll away. And if I quit now, I would have never ever got Mosul, and off the back of that, like I said, Baghdad Central, and off the back of these now, all these other big jobs have been coming forward for me now. So obviously this year's just pilot season, don't go quiet, and then next year then it'll pick up for me again. But going back to your question, with my son, mate, it's almost like, oh, am I going to tell his mother? How am I going to tell my brother, my mum? How am I going to tell their parents? How am I going to? I'm going to think, right, now I'm going to have to have a balance out, and I'd write the sheet out. I write, right, on this day, so and so got to pick him up, so and so got to look after him, because not
so
anyone.
It's regimented.
Yeah,
to
of course.
schedules.
It's a schedule. Yeah, because obviously he got autism, and he's not going to listen to anyone else.
Yeah.
And it is hard. I'll be honest with you, he's my own son, and it's really hard. And he's not going to. Someone has to be sort of not qualified, but know how to look after him, because obviously he can't have a conversation with someone. He can't turn around and say, my stomach hurts, or I got a cold, or I just banged my head with you didn't see it. Do you know what I mean? I know, obviously, growing up now, he's 11, I sense when his stomach hurts, or he got an ear pain, and what have you.
It's tough, that is, man. You, so you've got the role, you've had it out with the family, however that goes, told everyone you're going. What's it like on site? What's it like on production?
Right, on production is class, because like it's going back to what you said earlier, who sorts everything out. So once you get given green light, you've got the role.
Yeah.
Your agent, casting director, your agent, they've done their bit. Then the travel coordinator then starts emailing you, hi, I'm so and so.
There's another person.
Yeah, another person who works in the production then starts to email you. Hi, Thea, I'm the travel coordinator, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to send you some flights, then we know which one works better for you. Okay, cool. She'll send me some flights. I'm like, yeah, this one's cool, no problem.
Was that like economy? Is it first class?
It depends on the production.
Is it?
Yeah, pigeon class if they can, because it's budget, they're trying to save money.
Yeah.
And depending on how big you are of the name. If you're number one, you're business class.
Yeah.
It all changes when you're that number one.
Yeah.
I played number 3, so I'm getting to that number 1. I'm getting there.
Class.
Yeah, and so they take over, and then they send you the travel. She or him will be the travel coordinator. They'll just email you things like, do you want this flight or this flight? You just pick whatever flight, no problem. Go to the train station, put your card in, put the code in, they print your tickets out.
Yeah.
So they pay for everything. You get there, you've got a driver. Someone meets you in the airport, stay at Al-Shayei, Channel 4, Baghdad Central, or stay at Al-Shayei, which was called Picnic at the time because Mosul was filmed in secret. Yeah. And then they just come and they hire on your travel, they give you a bag, production thing in there, mobile phone, everything. Take you to your hotel room, you go in, there's a thing on the bed, phone, honestly mate, spending money every week. It's just, it's bringing me back memories. And this year obviously it's been really quiet. I just had one theatre gig, but yeah, it's just unbelievable. And then going on set, the production meetings where you meet all the other actors.
Yeah. So what is it? Day one on set, what happens?
Day one on set, obviously first you get a briefing. So it depends who's filming, because obviously with Mosul, we had 3 weeks military training.
Oh, you done that first?
Yes, first, before any script, even the script we auditioned for.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and the camera tests we had over there, because you've got to have a camera test. Okay. That's what I said to people. I said, it was all good, I got the role. Do you know when we got over there, it was an evaluation. Basically, the audition test was 3 weeks. Do you know if you didn't pass that training camp, you're on the next plane home. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I said, I dropped 2 weeks, I had to grow my hair, my beard was looking all scruffy. I thought everything was military grade mic and real apart from the bullets. Obviously, the only things were one real was the bullets, they were blanks. Everything was real. So we had the 3 weeks military training, 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. And then 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. dialogue training. With the dialect coach, because obviously even though I speak fluent Arabic, they could still hear my Welsh accent when I was delivering the Arabic. And it was like, come here, listen to him, talk. So I'm speaking in it, so because it was an international cast from all around the world. And that's what happens. And then obviously when you finished, then we're given our scripts. And every actor does it. Whoever actor is listening, you're lying if you don't. You go straight to your own lines, to your character, highlight everything, and then we go back. And then we pick. So my scenes will be with Adam, my scenes with Sahel. So I'll get hold of Adam and I'll say, right, me and you'll practice our scene. Okay. So because they send you an email in the night, just call sides. Not sorry, your sides of your lines on the day. I get to that. You get a call sheet. So basically a call sheet is your briefing schedule. So it tells you everything from the date. Day. No, you're not in every day. Okay. It depends it tells you from the weather, everything, what they're filming, what scenes, what special effects, what's going to be used and everything, So then you got your call time, they pick you up, go on set, go to your trailer, your name's on the trailer, your number of your character, go in, your costume's in there, you put your costume on, make sure it all fits, knock the other actor's trailer, if they're there, say, can I just run through the scene with you, no problem, run through the lines, call up the director, he'll just watch you rehearse it, make sure everything's okay, and we'll just say, you're happy with this, do you want to change anything? He'll say, can you do it like this, can you do it like that, brilliant. Then they call you on set, then you go on set, rehearsal, quiet please, actors rehearsing, crew rehearsal, so then they bring the crew, and then cast crew full production rehearsal, please, and then they block it. So what I mean by blocking is, they say, right then, Thayer's going to come in from here, and the Humvee's going to pull up, Thayer's going to jump on his gun, he's going to fire to the left, can we just practice that? And what they do, they walk you through at normal pace. And then you come out and they say, brilliant, and we're ready to shoot. And then the DOPs and the cameramen then, they just come out of nowhere, put all the cameras ready, make this up. Especially Hollywood is unbelievable. They have 3 cameras, and one on my face, one on here, and you're up there like that.
How is that different to something like, say, Stella, that's filmed locally in Wales, or even some of the smaller productions you might have done?
The difference with that is, over there was the safety mic, because we're playing a true story. We had military police on the set every day. We had to hand our passports in when they hand us our guns, because we're using real stuff. It was mostly safety over there, and they kept everything on hush-hush, because the world, obviously we knew when we told people, but realistically the world didn't know that it was filming over, and that's why in the articles it said Mosul was shot in secret in Morocco, because they kept it on a hush-hush, they didn't want no one to know. But yeah, it was mostly safety over there. It's very, everything was safe. Like when I play the gunner, so when I'd fire and I'd empty my belt, they'd say cut. No one was allowed to move until every single bullet was accounted for, and they pick it up, the runners, and put it in the bucket, and they'll go 1, 2, 3, got the 86 bullets, no problem. They'll say give player another belt. I'd load my gun again. 3, 2, 1, players live. Action! Cut! Bullets! Honest to God.
So there's a lot of waiting around there.
Oh, loads of waiting around. We was doing like, what? Some of my pickup time was 5 a.m. I was on set for 6 a.m. I had to be on set, ready, in costume, ready to fire at 6 a.m. And then we'd film, because it's Morocco, so we had the sunlight on our side. And we filmed from like 6 a.m. I'd film from 6 a.m. until like, one time we was doing there's a scene, you'll see it in the film, it's a hotel scene. We filmed it from 6 a.m. until 11 p.m. at night. Just for one scene, mate. And honestly, going back to what you said, do you know, like all of the effort what goes into the scenes and everything, and now I've seen it, mate, it's unbelievable how they do it.
Are you not exhausted by the end of that day then? Can they not see it in your face?
Of course they can, and we get so ratty. So when we break out in arguments, the swearing starts in Arabic, and then it gets to English. So the directors will say, shut up. Like Matthew will say, shut up. If you're going to argue, you swear at each other in Arabic, so I can effing use it for the film. Don't swear in English. Keep it all in Arabic, your Iraqi SWAT team. Basically, you can't speak English. Okay, just get that in your head. You can't speak English.
It's a long old day, that is.
Oh, very long, mate. Long, but and then it's exciting because all of the experience, and when you see it coming together. So jumping forward, Mike, to last September to Venice Film Festival, when I watched it in the Sala Grande with the colour, because I'd done 2 ADR sessions. Now, ADR for the listeners is audible direct recording. So basically, that's if the sound's not good, and you go to a studio to record the sound like they do animation. So basically, you watch the scene.
Oh, I think
you watch the scene.
I've seen something like this before. Was it Hugh Jackman with Logan and the bit where he's running through the forest at the end?
Yeah, that's right.
But you actually see him recording the sounds in a
studio.
I never ever realised that, mate.
Yeah, this is it. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. I'm going to wait until it's out, and there's certain scenes, when I tell you where I've done the sound for it, no one's going to believe me. The same with Baghdad Central. So basically, I've done 2 ADR sessions. So basically, you've got the speakers on, you're in the sound studio, you're in a booth, they're live in LA, the directors and everyone. And basically, a white line comes across the screen mic, and it beeps 3 times. So beep, beep, beep. When it syncs with the other white line, that's when you do your lines. And obviously I had to go back a couple of months to get back into the character who I was playing, so I'm jumping up and down in it, shaking my hair. I said, give me 5 minutes, and we break a sweat, because the scene was intense. And you do the sound, and then when I watched it then, it was just the date at the time, it was just a normal raw shot. When I watched it on the cinema screen, with the ADR, with the colour grade and the Dolby sound, because this is another thing, Lucasfilm, you know Star Wars? Lucasfilms, they've done the post-production. Star Wars Studio, they've done the sounds for Mosul, right? Class. I know. Once I seen all that and watched it, mate, it was unbelievable. We had, like, my hairs were standing. It was Anthony Russo's to my left, Patrick Newell's to my right. He's the executive producer of Dakar on Netflix now, a new film with Chris Hemsworth, and Michael LaRocca, who's the executive producer of Planet of the Apes. And then Joe, and all the Marvel team anyway. when you've seen it, then I realised, I thought, wow, this is unbelievable how they put it together. Because I'm watching it now, obviously my heart's going like this. I think the critics, they're going to kill us, we're going to get booed. We never had a 7-minute standing ovation. I'm shy to say, I was crying my eyes out, which I'll get to now. And when I watched it on the cinema, I was like, wow, look how they put it together. I remember shooting that scene, and I was even sat there like, going, what? Do you know what? I forgot I'd done that. There were scenes which I forgot I was in. Not dialogue, just action scenes.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you know what? I forgot about that scene. Wow, I'm glad they picked that take. Because I knew obviously they do 6, 7, 8 takes. And I was thinking, I hope they take the 7th one. Please take the 7th take. And it was. They took the one take, which I thought, I hope they take that, because I thought I looked better in it. But jumping forward, and back to what I just said then, why I cried was because the whole entire film is in Arabic. I've always played the villain and the terrorist through my career, and Matthew Carnahan and the Russos give us a chance to play the good guys.
Yeah.
And this is why we was all upset, crying, because we was like, wow, look at us on there. Like, Hollywood making a film about Arabs. We're not famous. If it was Omar Sharif or famous Arabs, we could understand.
Yeah.
No one knew who he was. And then after it, everyone was just respecting us over there. Hey, we watched your film. Can we have a photo and all this? I was like, boys, listen, I say to my mate Waleed and Adam and Sahil, I said, boys, this is why we could never quit. And this is why we struggled to get to this. But now we've tasted it. I said, you can't stop. I said, because at the time, Mike, jumping back to one of your first questions, at the time, it feels like you're wasting your time. Trying to get to where...
Just trying to bang open doors all the time.
all the time. You're knocking. And basically, I say to people, if you want to come into the acting world, prepare to swap your life for rejection. If you can do that, do it. If you can't, honestly,
got to have resilience.
Oh mate, you just got to keep digging, knocking. One door will close. Sorry, Faye, not this time. No problem. Faye, not this time. So back through my career, I've auditioned for big stuff. Coronation Street not long ago. 4 episodes as a paramedic. Didn't get it. Didn't throw my dummy out. Well, sorry, I did throw my dummy out for 2 days, but then it's on to the next. That's my job. James Bond, Spectre. 9 lines with Daniel Craig. Didn't get it. Threw my dummy out for 3 days with that one. and then move forward. All the time.
What are you doing in between then for work when, obviously, I can imagine production, once you finish one, it could be a while until the next one. Now, I can't imagine that you just sat around. I mean, I know what you kind of get up to, but what do you do away from, I see you boxing, what do you do away from that?
Yeah, of course, I do obviously the box. I do the boxing and just the clients. And obviously I don't drink, which I mentioned anyway, I don't drink, I don't smoke cigarettes, I don't gamble, so I haven't got no habits. Yes, I do drive, yes, I do like to dress nice, but I don't spend erratically on designer clothes. I just make it look like I got designer clothes on, but I don't. I drive a smart car, so when I do get paid off the productions, yes, they pay well. So I just live off the money, and they give you spending money on set.
So you're not spending.
So you're not spending money when you're away. It's only when you go back. Like I filmed Mosul from March, April, May to the end of May, and I think after the Mosul money, I think it ran out after like 11 months, 10 months. And that was like living nice, like getting this paying for my son's mother's teeth to get done. She wanted teeth done, and then car outright, and then like I lived nice. And then the same with Baghdad Central when it comes, but to answer your question, obviously I have to train the clients and I don't want to have you and then...
So away from films then, tell people what an actor does. So you are a boxing trainer, ex-boxer, good mates with a couple of pro boxers now, Joey Cordina. We'll speak to Joey in a few weeks, hopefully, after his next fight. What are you getting up to? What, how many clients you doing, PT and all that?
So basically I'll have my clients. I haven't got much now, because of my wrist, because it keeps playing up over the years. Obviously I do 2 boxercise classes in UFIT in Cardiff on a Tuesday, today actually, 6 p.m. to 7, and Saturday morning 9:30 to 10:30. And if I'm not on that really, you're just chasing up the filming world. Do you know what I mean? I'm always on IMDb checking up what they're filming next, what projects are happening, see who the casting director is, ring up my agents and say, look, so-and-so's casting for this, no problem, we'll be on to them. Do you get me? Or they'll ring me up and say, look, just to give you a heads up, so-and-so's making a film about this. Should we put it? I said, 100%, put my name down. So that's what I do in between there, just trying to keep, because, I try to keep my skill on camera at a reasonable level, because it's like fitness. If you're not fit, you're going to look bad in your fight or on the pitch. So it's the same with acting. My timing will be out on the swing, so I'll do different monologues in the house. on my camera and watch it back.
Just practicing.
Just practice it, read different scripts, because like I said, 2018 I was flat out. This year was not much. I'd set a couple of auditions, I changed representation, and I got new representation, and mostly this year has been for all my press and all the award stuff. And I think next year now, that'll be my year where it was already happened, where I'm starting to audition for big projects. So I think next year that's when the door will open. But yeah, so that's what I do in my spare time.
How did Venice Film Festival come about then? Because that wasn't too long ago.
Venice. Obviously, they put Mosul. They submitted it for Venice, and I think they said they missed Cannes because of post production, I think. But it got to Venice and Toronto. Yeah, so it was massive because Venice is the longest running one. I think it was the 76th running one, 70s, and it's still the biggest, and it's still got the authenticity of being a film festival. Cannes for me is most like a party. Look at me, I'm on the red carpet, it's all celebrities. It's still obviously a film festival, but Venice was on a different level, and people even told me, they said, Faye, out of them all, you want to hope it gets to Venice. They said Venice is something else, and it was when I got there. The whole experience, the networking, the people I've met, the things I learned, what to do, not to do, what to change, what to look for. Because obviously you think, do you know what, I've been doing it for this long, why haven't I made it yet? But then you can't look at it like that. It's like I say to people when you go into an audition, going back to the audition question, like, it's your time in the room. So when I've gone to auditions in London, do you know if I didn't like it? I've left the room and gone back and knocked the door and said, what time's the next audition? They said 10 minutes. I said, do you mind if I do it again? They said, why? I said, it was fucking shit. They said, sorry. I said, it was shit. I said, I didn't like it. I want to do it again, please. No problem. Go in there and do it. And another thing which you do have to respect, the other person reading the other character's lines to you, if there is other lines to the other character in the scene, you have to tell him to give them to you like a character. Because sometimes I've been in there, watch where you're going, behind you there's a grenade, and then the other person's gone, don't worry, just run and duck. I've gone, cut, sorry, listen, you're going to have to feed me something, there's bombs going off, and you're telling me just to run and duck. Are you serious? Come on, feel it with me. And then what I'll do is I'll get him to record as many takes.
Energy.
Yeah, of course it is. As many takes, and I've got natural energy anyway. I'm always hyperactive. Do you know what I mean, Mike? So I'm like, you've got to feed me something. I want this. That's your time. As I say to people all the time, that time, as soon as you open the door and you introduce yourselves, that's when that clock starts ticking. That's your time in the room, and you have to impress. First impressions is the best. You have to nail the audition if you want the job. And this is what I say to people, I want this job, so feed me something. And then what I'll do is I get him to record like 6, 7. The most takes I've ever done was 21. And I told him to send the director the last 2, and I got the job. Honest to God, mate. Some of them might look at it, it's not like an arrogant thing or anything like that. That's why I say about getting in the room as well. They have to meet you as a person. Like, I'll sell sand to my cousin, he lives in the desert. Do you know what I mean? Get me in the room. I said, you've earned your 15%. If you get me in the room, that's it, you've got me the audition, it's my job to get the job. And then when I goes in there, they meet me, I think, do you know what, I can work with this guy, he's all good looking, wicked on camera. Oh, he's brilliant. But if you get on set and you're a prick, I can't work with this actor, you know what I mean, he's arrogant, or he's the number one, you see it all, mate. That's another thing, going back to the question about being on set. You get all it, it's very ego driven. Oh, I'm the number one, who you, I play thingy, I play so-and-so. I just get on with everyone, man. I just say, listen, let's crack on, we're all in the same boat. And I said this in the speech when I won the Rising Star last week. I said, look, it's not a competition, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. Help each other, and you know that, mate. I always help each other, anything, agents and anything. Because then it helps me get to where I am today.
I will say that, you're quite busy outside of, obviously acting with quite a few charities and ambassador roles and stuff like that.
Of course, So I'm ambassador of the Gloves Are On charity with Soraya Kelly. It's like helps with the foundation as well with Cardiff City football team, children who want to come up, basically do our stuff like what I'm doing, because don't forget, I'm from CF3, so I'm from St. Mellons, right? I'm not from like a middle class or a rich family, or I didn't go to drama school and I didn't go to a posh school or private school. So I'm like, I send that elevator back down to them all. So when I go to speak to them, I say, listen, I'm still one of you. I still say, what's happening, bro? Safe, cuz, what are you saying, bro? Do you get me? I'd still go egging if I can get away with it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'll rob the old penny sweet if I'm in the shop and the cameras ain't on me. I said, listen, I'm real who I am. That's who I am. I won't change who I am. You guys can do it. Do you know what I mean? I said, you guys can do it because they think they can't, and like, all these things. So that's what I do. I go around and I help them all, and saying I've got a meeting with them on Thursday morning down there as well. So just like to let other people, like, they can achieve it. Yes, it's not going to be easy, Mike. We know that. Yeah. It's not an overnight thing, but you cannot give up. You have to just believe in yourself, pick your path, pave it, and say, do you know what? I'm going to get to the top. They have done it, and I'm not going to sit here and make out like, yeah, I'm some Hollywood superstar. But if you rewind back to where I first started, and even just 2 years ago, and told me you're going to be doing this and you're going to do that, I say no chance, because they don't give us that chance. I've been knocking the door, I've been shaking the cage for years, and all of a sudden, bang, it opened, and I'm just on the table. That's what I said to people. And now I got my foot in the door. So now it's time for me. Now, I was on the bench, and I was having little spells. The last 10 minutes, as I explained it, last 15 minutes, last 20 minutes. Now I'm in the first team. That's what I say to people. I said, now I'm in the first team. Now I'm starting every week.
I think, I know that you've got resilience, obviously. You bring a load of energy all the time. What advice would you give to, either someone starting out or someone who was in your position and been doing it for 10 years but just wasn't getting that big break? What advice would you give them?
The advice I'd give someone who's starting off and who's been doing it for 10 years is just don't give up. Because how you got to look at it, look at me for example, use me as an example, because I haven't made it yet. So when I speak to all these other big actors who I met in Venice and all these other ones, and you watch their documentaries, that's another thing I do, always watch documentaries on the actors and listen to what they say, and they say exactly the same thing as what I'm saying. They was exactly the same. None of them took a different route unless their father was the producer or unless their mum was shagging one of the other directors. No, it is. That's the reality of it. Unfortunately,
so like,
100%. Unfortunately, in my position, it wasn't. So I had to graft. I had to get my pickaxe and just keep digging until I got them roles. And anyone who's starting, please, like I said in my recent interviews, don't let other people's opinions dictate the way you live, because there's a lot of people out there who want to do what I'm doing, and I know it because once I got off the red carpet from Venice and I got off the plane over here, I had about 50 messages of different people saying, oh, I always wanted to be an actor but I didn't know how to ask you, I want to get my daughter into acting, how do I do it? I hope you don't mind me asking. I said, no, of course I hope you don't mind you asking. But what you got to understand is you can't give up, so don't think, oh, it's too late. It's not boxing. Remember, acting is not a sport, okay? Acting is an art. And what I mean by that is you can start at any age and you can finish at any age, okay? There's no bracket where there's a limit on it where you can only play football or rugby until you're 35 unless you're Ronaldo, and you can play into whatever. It's not. Acting you can do at any age, so anyone who wants to start it, I say start it, like I said, pick up a script, find workshops around you. I'm sure when we finish the interview, I'll say my names, my tags on whatever. They can, obviously we'll get to that. I'm on about, like, feel free to ask me any question you want, and I'll guide you in the right direction. But yeah, I think that's the problem and the issue we have, Mike, especially when I'm going around doing all these talks and I'm speaking to the younger generation. The first thing they say to me is, "Oh, my mates might laugh at me." Yeah. They're worried about, and again, before social media, social media is a PR machine. It can make you or break you. And unfortunately for children, I think for the younger generation, it's competition. They're looking at their phones, they're going on Instagram, and what they're doing, they're comparing their lives to other people. Oh, look at him over there on holiday. Oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, look at him. So they're comparing each other. What happens then? And psychologically, they're bringing themselves down. And it's not good. So yeah, to answer the question, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, you've come onto that social media. How do you stay positive with things like, you live your life quite heavily on social media, always on your stories, you're always with your mates, always out doing something, you never sat still. Do you get a lot of people giving you shit from it? What do you do if they do give you shit, negative reviews, whatever that might be? How do you stay positive? How do you deal with that?
Basically, if I have anything negative, which you do, obviously, I have things all the time from all over the world, like trolls. I just hit them with "I love you too." Straight away. I don't get into no debates, mate. Even like football debates, I don't get into no boxing debates. I just say "I love you too, man. Wish you the best of luck in life," and then they just leave me alone. And then the majority of the time, people's like, "Faye, I love you." Like recently, the African guy who done the dancing to that Nightcrawlers.
Friday.
Yeah. So Joey said, Joey was like, I said, let's do it before someone else does, and we done it. Like, other people might think, look at that guy, man, what an idiot, like, what's he doing? I don't care, you know that, I walk down the street, like, my role started, one of my roles, I dressed as a griller, walking around Piccadilly Circus and Hyde Park, dressed as a griller in London for one of my roles, before it was a job, because I needed to act, I needed to feel what it was like on site. I'd walk down the street naked if I had to for a role. As simple as that. I don't care. I never ever let other people's opinions cloud my judgment in anything I want to do, as long as it made me happy. So with them, I just shut them down with that. I love you too, wish you the best of luck in life, with a kiss. And then they just leave me alone. Because as soon as you answer, Mike, you got to answer them to them all. And then I was going to get into a bicker, and they'll probably get into a racial thing because I'm Arab.
Yeah.
And so I think, do you know what, there's no point. I say, yeah, no problem. Yeah, is it cool? Seriously, is that what you think about me? Brilliant, I love you too, wish you the best of luck in life. Kiss. And they leave me alone. And then the other people, the majority of the time though, I do get more things like, Fire, you kills me, you makes my day, I'm showing my mates this. I just burst out laughing in a meeting, I had to leave the room. So they told me the other day when he was watching the thing when I was dancing in the thing. Yeah. And it's just making people happy, mate. There's too much negative in the world. People are down. Some people are down on their luck, so I just want to just lift people. Too many people mask up the cracks, I think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, Mike? So I just make people happy, man.
I agree.
Just let them do it, just get up and do it. That's what I say to people. No one's stopping you. The only people who's stopping them is themselves. It starts in their head. They think straight away, oh, I'm going to do that. Or so-and-so's going to laugh at me. He's going to laugh. She's going to laugh. My uncle, my sister, my dad's going to laugh.
I thought that, mind, when I started this.
Yeah, of course you do.
100%. I've never done anything like this.
Yeah, I know, but you do it, and then what happens then? You'll set a trend. Because you'll see someone else now in a minute when I phone you and I'll say, guess who's doing a podcast?
Yeah.
And you do it, and that's what things just snowballed. It was the same thing when I done the acting. Yeah, I was mad, and obviously people can tell I don't shut up, and I'm not giving Mikey a chance to ask any questions.
That's mate, it's fine. I like it.
Right.
Carry on.
But I'm 100 miles per hour, so I knew that was my route. Each human being, I think, knows their route, but then there's talent out there, which is hidden talent, because people are afraid again to bust that stigma because they're worried about what other people think about them. And it's not, and that's what I'm going to do now. When I have the meeting now with Soraya on Thursday, is where I go down and help with the children and everything with her with the charity. Yeah. So I'm going to hold one for myself to the kids and show them and do like little workshops and stuff of like, you can do what you want to do, even bring a couple of cameras and say, let's make a little short film. Anyone can do it. The only thing stopping them is themselves.
Yeah, they're an imitation.
Exactly.
Mate, I completely agree with you there, Barry.
Yeah, of course it's because you want to do something, you think, oh, I want to do that, or what's people...
Mate, I was like, with boxing. I'd never
Yeah, but you're class, and what do I say to you every time?
Never set foot in a ring. Lost my first fight.
Yeah, but look how class you are. Look how good you are now. Because you kept at it.
Just practice.
Yeah, of course it is. You practice it.
And I enjoy it as well.
Yeah, of course it is. And you keep at it. As simple as that. There's no science to it. There's no tricks. There's no fire. Truthfully, what is it? How did you get to... I say, there's none of that.
What's the shortcut?
There's no shortcuts.
Yeah.
I said, pickaxe, bang, paved my own path. Some of it was in level, so I always use all these different analogies and these different scenarios to show people how to describe how I got to where I was. And again, because I just believed in myself. And in the end now, people start going, do you know what? It does work, look at fire. Yeah. So there you go.
It's funny, you surround yourself with people in similar situations in different industries. So Joe Cordina, Olympian boxer, matchroom boxer,
of course, yeah.
Undefeated still.
Exactly, and I know Joe when he first started. When we were kids, because I used to box, and my last fight was 5 years ago. Yeah. And obviously, again, I was still doing the acting in between, but I knew my hat was in the acting. Yeah. And I just knew with him as well, because he had to, again, the sacrifices. He moved away from his family for, I'm not going to say too much, because I let him talk when you interview him. But he moved away from his family for 8 years, up in Sheffield, in the GB Institute. And now he's had to move away from his family again in Essex. Yeah. To make the sacrifices what you get. These things don't come easy. If I turn around now and say I want to win a BAFTA, I want to win a Rising Star, I want to win an Oscar, it's not just going to happen. You're going to have to, honestly, the groundwork you've got to put in is unreal. But like, I surround myself with people as a small circle. You know, you're a very good mate of mine, you're positive energy, Joey's positive energy, all my other friends are positive. I just keep it like that and small, because you can't have no negative in your chain. Because if there's negative in there, I'm sorry, that's the weakest link. You got to go, because it's going to drag the lot of you down.
I think you only realise that as you get older. When I was growing up, I was very much be friends with everyone. I want everyone to like me, just get to know everyone. And now, I know quite a few people around here.
No, listen, people love you, man. You're
not everyone. I wouldn't class everyone as a good friend though, and I think that changes as you get older.
Yeah, of course it is. You do things your circle gets smaller. Things change. It's life, I think. That's how life. People are doing their own thing as you progress, and then sometimes as you progress, people choose to, like me. I don't want to mention no names. Yeah. People choose now just to ignore me now when I see them. I don't know why, but I think I do. But I wouldn't like to say. Once you start doing well, people do want to praise you, so they choose to ignore you. So when I see people now, they know when they stop me, they have to say, they don't have to, But 9 times out of 10, the first thing is, congratulations on that day. When can I see this or when can I see that?
Yeah,
What's next? Okay, they're the four major things.
Yeah.
So they choose to ignore me. So I think, what's going on? I don't get it. Like, I haven't done nothing yet. It's weird, man. It's not like I'm...
Is it like that in the industry? What are actors like?
Yes, mate, it's very bad in the industry.
People
yes, roll hoggers. Yeah. There's a lot of people, because they know how hard it is.
Yeah.
With all these sharks in a tank. Yeah. Any little job we get, we're ripping it apart. Yeah. That's mine. Okay, there's plenty of food, man. There's plenty of fish in the seas, that's what you're all saying. It's like Denzel Washington said, you drink too much water, you'll drown. When they asked him about rolls, Jamie Foxx asked him, he said, drink too much water, you'll drown. Share it. And that's what I've done. There's loads of rolls before. I think it was back in, and actually, he phoned me on Sunday. Was it? No, when was it? Saturday he phoned me. Dan, he's a writer of, he's a good writer, Dan, he lives in Cyprus. He wrote Spirit Breaker, which is a comedy series which I'm on Amazon Prime. I played the boxing coach in it. And he was doing a film, and he needed me to play like a ISIS fighter, and it was a comedy out in Cyprus. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I couldn't make it. So I tried to run two of my mates from London. Yeah. Said, you fancy one of these jobs?
I've been with you when you've given people
roles, give it to him, because what happens then 2 days later is my agent will ring me and say, so-and-so has been on the phone. I said, because I'm a strong believer in karma. You put good energy out in the universe, it comes back in. Please help people. Yeah. It's hard enough as it is. You'll get there. I know it's hard. Don't think, oh, he's going to make it before me. Because I know people who help me behind the scenes and who's in the scenes who helps me. I ain't going to forget him when I get to the top. Because I'm going to go, when there's a massive queue, I'm going to go, yo,
I remember him. Yeah.
Him, Mikey. Yeah. Sahil, Joey, Danny, Nezzy, Kaji. Yo, come on, bruv, no off. Come here, you're on my table. I know who was there from the start. And I know who wants, they want you to win. Once you start winning, they disconnect themselves. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying, Mike?
It's weird.
It's strange, man.
It baffles me.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, man, which I've noticed. And even in industry, going back to the question you asked, I sees it. Like, there's people I know who've auditioned for auditions I've had. Yeah. And they didn't, not like they gotta tell me, but wait a minute, it's about Iraq. It's called Baghdad Central. You auditioned for it 2 days for me, 2 days before me. You didn't tell me, and I know you. And I looked after you when you were in Cardiff.
People feel awkward, or...
Yeah, it's because they didn't get the job.
No, okay.
They didn't get it. I don't care, didn't get it. Congratulations, man. Best of luck to you.
Yeah.
It's not you wasn't good enough, you just wasn't right for the job.
Yeah.
It's like me now, when I go in there and get a job, I can't turn on and go, oh, do you know what, I feel sorry for my man. The director picked me. Yeah. Do you understand what I mean? And now when they goes in there, they're not going to feel sorry for me. You think they're going to say, oh, no, give it to Fire instead, he can speak out of it.
We'll split the money.
Yeah, we'll split it. I'll tell you what, we'll CGI Fire.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Class. So what's next then? What's next for Thea? You mentioned a couple of productions.
Yeah, so what's next for me? Attached. So having given the role, so basically you audition and they attach you to the production.
So potentially
yeah. So unless they release you. So Lord of the Rings, the TV series.
So that's going to be mental.
That's huge.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Studios, yes. $250 million for the rights and an additional $1 billion for 5 seasons. So it's 50 episodes, 5 years work, 10 episodes in each one. Principal photography starts the 1st of February 2020 till 1st of February 2021. That's Lord of the Rings. The Contractor is based like a Homeland sort of thing. Yeah. And that's again 12 episodes. Pilot now, so they're just waiting to attach a director and a big lead, and then it's green light. And all the other stuff then, like Shadow and, saying that last week I done a tape for Shadow and Bones. Is it Shadow and Bones? It's based on a book, 8-part drama on Netflix. Yeah. All the time, mate. Every like 2, 3, 4 times a week, I'll audition or I'll tape for like massive. And before you'd rave about it, like sticking up. Yo, guess what I auditioned for? Yeah. And then what happens then? The dust settles, so the novelty wears off. So my agent will just ring me and say, "Oh, will you do a tape for this?" I say, "No problem. Do a tape, send it." Yeah. And then you just wait to hear back. It's either a recall or sometimes they'll say, we've booked your client for the job. And like I said earlier, they'll just take over Mike, and then you just go from there.
Class.
And then just
fascinating, Fascinating, because I see you every week, and I don't really know what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, of course.
But I know that when I'll be watching either TV or film now, I'll be like, oh, I wonder how that fucker got there. Like,
Yeah, it's mad because it's nice because it was all shot in Morocco, especially Baghdad Central. Because the two characters.
When they're now again, also Baghdad Central.
Baghdad Central is the last week of January.
Yeah.
Channel 4. 9 p.m. I think 9 p.m. because there's no sexual content in the series. There's not much gore, so I think they'll give them the 9 p.m. slot. If not, it'll be 9:30. If not, 9:45.
Yeah.
I think it'll be within that.
Yeah.
And Mosul, they're just waiting for distribution. They're trying to get it out this side of the year.
Yeah.
So they're pushing.
So is that what you're waiting on the Netflix or someone picking
That's
up?
That's right. They want cinema.
Yeah.
I said I want Netflix.
Yeah.
Personally, Mike, because I think streaming's the way forward. At the moment, you got Netflix, Amazon Prime TV, Apple Plus, TV, and now you got Disney Plus. With Disney, they own. With Disney, you get Disney, you get Marvel, you get Star Wars, and Fox.
Yeah.
This is why Avatar ain't coming out December the 20th. Star Wars is, so they pulled it back till next year.
Yeah.
So look what you're getting. So and don't forget, they got income coming in from different angles.
Yeah.
So Apple got the phones technology, Amazon got Amazon, where Netflix only got the content of filming the series.
That's why they went into their own.
Exactly, and this is what I like about them, because Netflix and that will show anything they want, because I don't think they're registered into the film council in America, so they can show any content they want really, because it's like a streaming thing. But that's the way forward.
Class, mate.
And that's where they pay the money. It's massive money. Remember they laughed at Will Smith when he done that film? His partner was an alien on Netflix.
Oh,
Bright.
Yeah, good.
Bright.
I like that.
And I did. They laughed at Will Smith and said, "What are you going to Netflix for?" That show you should have watched up an actor. He said, "Watch what happens in 3 years. Every single one of them A-listers have worked." We're going to say, "No, I done a Netflix gig. I only played the freedom fighter in it in one episode in Captive." So all the listeners, if you want to see me as a... Actually, I'll throw you some productions which you can actually watch me when we finish. Captive, episode 8, Peacemakers, Iraq. I played the freedom fighter in it. No dialogue, just a freedom fighter. 3 days work, £4,500. And I was fasting. They sent me anything I wanted to the hotel to break my fast, me and the other actors. Netflix, mate, they got 183, argument's sake, they got 180 million subscribers.
Yeah.
For example, just say 100 million of them are paying there every month. Some are paying 6, some are paying 10. They bring in 1.25 billion a month. They told me because they was some of their team was in Venice. We sat with them and spoke. I said, "What?" They said, "Yeah, that's if." Do you know everyone paid their subscription? The subscription, yeah. 1.7. I don't know. Something. It was like over 1.5 billion a month. I know, mate.
That's the wrong job, mate.
That's something, and then obviously they got Netflix America, Netflix Middle East, Netflix Asia. So they got all different Netflix companies.
Might sell them the videos for this now.
Yeah, and then mate, you never know. They bind so much content, and as long as it's got strength, they'll do it like Rami on Hulu. Rami, if you watch Rami, the comedy, watch it. It's an American guy, he's an American Egyptian boy. He's Muslim, never drunk, never took drugs, been to Hajj twice, to Mecca. His only problem is women. Watch it, you'll love it. I swear to God, there's a comedy where his problem is women. So he doesn't know whether to get married. He's like, he's got his chicks, and he's wicked how he worked. Because one of the leads in the series, he's in a wheelchair and he got something wrong with him. So he got him casted in it because he was his mate. So he done really well. Watch him, mate. Yeah, they're only like 25, 30-minute episodes. 8 of them. My manager, a couple of months ago in America, rang me up and said, "Listen, watch Rami, because if they cast season 2, I'll put you forward for it."
Class.
And that's another thing before we finish. Comedy. I changed from, when was it the first time I done comedy? It was Mundem. I think it's on YouTube, Mundem. I can't remember the character I played, but we made fake clothes. That was funny. And Spirit Breaker is on Amazon Prime. There's one episode called Spirit Breaker, and I play Ruthless in it. Watch it, it's funny. I play a boxing coach called Ruthless.
Well, we'll tag you in on everything now.
Yeah, of course.
As it goes live, people will obviously ask you questions. We'll get your socials up: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Obviously, get your IMDb up there so we can find out where we can watch you. I will see you every week anyway.
Yeah.
But I've got nothing but love for you, pal. So thank you very much.
I love you, bro.
Appreciate that.
Thank you,
Catch you later. Episode 5, over and out.